The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.
See, so we're always spreading knowledge to the kids, and especially what you're doing now with the spoken word, because it's different in your mind state. Your poetry is a little bit different mind state than your rapping. All right, your rapping you was like that, but right now in the mind state you're in right now you like this. So I can tell.
Yes, sir.
See, and he one of the best to do it that I heard. So that's crazy. You gonna spit? You gonna spit, man?
No.
You gonna spit? Nah. Come on, man. You gonna spit?
No.
You gonna...
Tell him what you said. You said you're gonna fire up on the next nigga that asks you that. Go ahead and try that.
You gonna spit?
Hey, that's Houston. Hey, you know when I first met Houston, he tried to wrestle me. Man. He tried to wrestle me. Houston always sizing up everybody.
No.
He was like, I forgot you used to wrestle. Nigga, I ain't wrestle.
Yeah. Come on, man. But you also had a little more size. See, we all thin out because again, you got to take care of yourself. But yeah, everybody's a little bigger. So, and that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
I'm not messing with the linebacker over there. The lineman over there. I ain't messing with them.
Don't call me a lineman. That's disrespectful.
Oh, I don't want no problem. I don't want no problem.
I gotta drop 50 pounds, get back to where I was, man. I'm tired of this shit.
That's
That was a 2 month fast, man. Fuck this.
Oh man, you don't want to do that.
Nah.
3 days out the week. 3 days. Monday 6 to 12. So 6 p.m. to 12 p.m. the next day. That would be the best time to fast.
Oh, interval.
Yeah, because from 12 to 6 you can eat whatever you want to eat, but after 6 o'clock you got to cut it off.
We coming up on August, so I do the Black August.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll be in Black August, so try to get in that mind state, the correct mind state for that. Mm-hmm. That's basically almost Ramadan, basically. So it's sun up to sundown, nothing dry.
Wow.
So.
When I say I needed this water coming up the hill. That hill's no joke. That hill no joke. I mean, how you cut the grass? With a rope?
I just did it. No.
With a rope?
He was out there. I'm literally holding the lawnmower, roll it down a little bit.
Oh, man.
I was telling him that's how we
used to do with a rope. We used to do it with a rope.
Roll it down.
Well, just do it with a rope. You just and just bring it up with a rope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so that's old school.
It's a lot of.
I don't know if them Texas boys know how to do that.
We just do it.
Yeah, all right. Okay, all right. Hey, that's an incline. This is an incline like that.
Luckily, it ain't too wide. I was just telling somebody because somebody was at the gym and they seen me mowing. He's like, man, I don't know how you gonna say. I said, luckily, it's only about this wide. If it was the full thing from the garage, I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it, man. Like I'm cool on that. Man,
recording all this shit right here.
Man, look, we just go. We'll cut it if we need to. If we don't, we rolling. It'd be funny.
You gonna spit or we're gonna be fighting up in this podcast?
Man, we're gonna be fighting, man. I don't want no poetry now, man. You gotta check out some of the new stuff we doing, man.
Yeah,
we out here with it, man.
Yeah.
He said we're gonna be fighting in the podcast room. I got this for you, no good. Flag on the play.
Gonna be the longest 2-3 minutes. Gonna be the longest 2-3 minutes of the podcast.
First of all, I'm gonna call Coach Hughes. We gonna open up the boxing gym. Then y'all can do what y'all want to do. Okay. Don't fight in here. I got stuff in here.
And E, man, you said we still ain't sparred yet.
Man, you ain't come on, man. There.
Come on, man.
Came down there.
Man, come on. I was down there one time. You was there, remember?
I was chilling. You didn't say nothing. I was chilling. You didn't say nothing.
He said he got okay. He pulling out the whistle.
I said, E, let's go. He said, I'm chilling.
I either got done. I don't even know what it was. Either I just got done or whatever. But I ain't even sparring nobody right now.
Man, that shit was crazy because when I was down there, the last time I was down there sparring was it Red had me beat up his son. For real, Red.
Rico,
light skin, yeah. He said, he Red said he was sparring with us. He said, "Hey, put it on him a little bit." I was like, Red, you sure? He was like, "Yeah, put it on him a little bit." Shit. First couple of hits, man, it was bloody mouth, nose, but he wanted. I guess he wanted to see how tough.
Yeah,
his son was, and his son stayed. You know, he didn't back off. He stayed in the pocket, but I could. Man, I was like, man,
just feel bad.
that's old school. That's hey. He said, put it on my son. I was like, oh, are you? I said, you sure? That was the last time I sparred there.
Man, I don't even really be sparring because I'm like, ain't nobody heavy enough, and it's only a couple that are really. And then when they do spar, they want to throw all they got at me. I be trying to chill.
I would be the safest person to spar with because I'll ask you what percentage you want to go.
Oh yeah,
and that's the percentage we gonna stay. You say 50%, we ain't gonna be like, oh, we ain't doing all that. We gonna stay at 50%. But the warning is, if you hit me hard, I will hit you hard back. And that's what I tell them every time we get in the ring. If we say a certain percentage, if you say 20%, and we just tapping into the light, and you hit me hard, you getting fucked up.
Right. You got to get back.
Well,
last person I sparred, he ain't been back in a month.
Oh man, there was a big white guy that used to come to our gym that tore up. I ain't never seen him back.
I'm trying to think. What did he have? Long hair?
Oh,
we used to call him.
He was tall. He was tall. Real tall. You know, kind of thick dude, but he kind of tall, slender, thick dude.
Man, we had one that I used to spar with him, me and Bree, but he didn't have no skill, and he just stopped coming. Like he told coach, like, I don't want to get hit.
Man.
Like, dude,
hey man, that's us. Mm-hmm. That's an African American. You know what? And that's another thing that I was going to talk to you about. Mm-hmm. I think we didn't even talk about that on the podcast at the station. But I stopped calling myself African American.
Mm-hmm. What you do? What you
just American?
Mm-hmm.
Just think about this. Mm-hmm. See, I'm American of African descent. See, I'm an American first. Mm-hmm. See, but I'm of African descent. Mm-hmm. See, once you gain the knowledge, mm-hmm. and again, and understanding history like we've been doing, mm-hmm. We are all Americans. We built this goddamn country. So we are all Americans first. Mm-hmm. You don't see Jamaicans going and saying I'm a white Jamaican or Afro Jamaican. No, they're Jamaican. Mm. When you go to all these different other countries, they are proud of being from that country. So it's not a bad thing that we acknowledge ourselves as Americans. Mm-hmm. We are just Americans of African descent. Mm. So people are not saying that shit correctly when they're saying, "Oh, I'm African American." No, we are not African Americans. We're not from Africa. We are of African descent, but we're from America. See, mm-hmm. and you had me thinking about that. Mm-hmm. Oh, when we spoke about that during the podcast, man, all the history and knowing that.
I mean, just the understanding in general of the difference between nationality versus origin or ethnicity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
your father's from Africa.
Yeah. So I can say whichever one I want to say, to be honest.
Exactly. See, you can say whatever you want to say because your father is from Africa.
Yeah, and but nationality, I'm American. I was born here. I'm American. It's like
American.
By birthright and by those old laws, like where you born. And I tell people we're so confused with it, like. I said, what if two black people from here mm-hmm. went to China and had a child? What would you call that child?
That child will be Chinese. That child,
by nationality.
By nationality, that child will be Chinese of African descent.
But because we use this thing called race, which is ambiguous and has no true meaning, you mm-hmm. wouldn't be able to define his race. Mm-hmm. It would be confused because you can't say they're African American. They are not American at all. Mm-hmm.
See,
by definition, they were born over there. They are not American. You were just of. So then we don't have the proper definitions for anything.
Exactly. Exactly. So when kids are being born in Germany, you get that a lot. When kids from military families being born in Germany, they are German citizens.
Mm-hmm. If they were born off the base, technically they are German. You
are German. You are a German citizen.
And hopefully they gave you your citizenship card.
Yeah, because you can be in Germany and you can be from America mm-hmm. at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy, man. We can get deep. We can get deep into this conversation, man.
Whatever, man. One of these days we're gonna just have our own drop, so we ain't got to intro ourselves,
man.
But it's Streets A&R Podcast, man. We got special guests. We already 38 minutes in. Now we about 12 minutes in. Mm-hmm.
Are you saying I'm special or special?
I'm saying you get to make up your definitions like the rest of the world. You define yourself.
Well, I'm not special at all. Yeah. I'm amongst great men, so we're great men.
Yes, sir, man. Sir. We got a legend of Omaha, Nebraska.
Man.
Hip hop historian, starter in the region. Like true. And when I say hip hop, I mean like I don't know if you MC, but you did the other.
No, I helped people. Okay. I ad-libbed for people.
Okay.
But see, I still got this thing about this legend thing. But what is a legend? You the teacher. What is it? What's a legend?
In language,
what would be the definition of a legend?
I think a legend is somebody that is essentially a pillar for a movement or something greater than themselves. And I don't think it's something that has to be. You can be a legend in your own right with various communities or micro communities. Yes. But when I talk about a legend, that's why I said in Omaha, especially with hip hop, you're somebody who did and does three of the pillars and hip-hop. A part of the original movement of hip hop in this city that people don't know. So you can't be an originator and not be a legend unless you've sold your name to that point, but you haven't. So I'm like that for me, whether people know it or not, it doesn't diminish the achievement. It doesn't diminish the imprint.
And I think that's the thing I got or thought about that because I'm not a legend. Because if you're gonna go legend, you go people that were before me that actually started the movement. But see, in my definition, I'm a participator. We all are participating in the same thing. Like right now, we're doing this podcast. We all are participating in this podcast. Does that make you guys legends?
Not by trade, but it don't mean that we won't be.
Yeah. See, but is that over time? See, and that's what I'm saying. I have a problem with being called a legend. I'm just a participator of any culture, whether it be MMA, whether it be hip hop or any culture. I don't consider myself a legend, big dog. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't know if the legendary people do.
But see, because even I saw an interview with Jordan. He don't consider himself a legend either.
That's what I'm saying.
He don't consider himself a legend either. Because again, all we are all doing is participating in the same thing, either making it better or worse. Right. And hopefully, all the things I contributed to each and every culture, and in the city, and the country, and over the world. Hopefully, I contributed to something that made it better.
Oh man,
that's how you do it.
Oh yeah, I like to say you did. I mean, especially when you start talking about the fight scene here. Like we had people who was doing it before you. We had a lot of legends. Omaha was a place where major heavyweight fights was held at in the past.
Yeah.
But as far as like resetting the culture. I don't think that Bud Crawford could have been who Bud Crawford was if you didn't set the stage that you did. Like I think that like you brought a light back to the city.
But see that's another interesting thing because that was not my intention to do so. All I did was starting with hip hop culture was trying to bring light to what we was already doing here. That was it, and it started with hip hop culture. So anytime I went out, whether I was breakdancing or whether I was doing graffiti or whether I was doing anything, I always wanted to make sure that people knew that we was represented properly in Omaha. Because first of all, what's the first thing people say when you say you're from Omaha?
It's black people.
Because I'm not originally from Omaha, but I've been here all my life, so I am a resident of Omaha. So there's no black people in Omaha. So did anybody know anything about the culture of Omaha before they even got here? Did you know about the culture of Omaha before you got here?
The culture, not really, no.
See, and did you? And your family from here?
Yep.
See, and so you grew up in the culture. So if I say Vietnam projects, what?
Yes, sir.
You know about Vietnam. If I say like Hilltop, right? If I
lived in where Hilltop was. What you talking about? Where Vietnam is.
I've been here. Your family's been already embedded in Omaha culture, but it's just interesting because I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. I know more about the culture in East St. Louis than people that live there because they don't study history.
That part.
And I'm a history guy. I studied the history of Omaha. Even as a kid, I studied the history of Omaha. When they burned the guy up downtown.
Will Brown.
Yep.
Will Brown, yeah, and his gravesite is in what, South Omaha?
I don't know.
I think it's in a cemetery in South Omaha. But the point being is that even as a kid, I always wanted to make sure that I knew where the hell I was at.
That part.
You know where the hell you was at. And so if you say Vietnam, if you say Hilltop,
if you say my yachts,
yeah, you say my yachts. The yachts. You say the yachts. You come on, man. You know what it is. So or we just that damn old,
man.
But hopefully all the things that I've done here in this town or anything collectively outside of this town, that it's made it better. And talking to y'all right now, y'all want me here, making everything better.
Yes, sir. Houston Alexander is who we got, so give him a round of applause.
Oh, round.
Hey.
Is that the fake claps?
The warning sign.
You got your engineers on the fake clap.
Trouble. He gave us a trouble warning, like, oh, Lord. Man.
But see, and it's cool. Thank y'all for having me on the show. And this is, to me, I think we did a few podcasts. And I think, why is the podcasting so big online now? Why do you guys think that is? I mean, people want different types of information or different outlooks on information. Is that what you think?
I think yes, to a degree, but it also brings a level of what should be or could be honesty and perception that you're not going to get on mainstream television. It allows people to be a little more expressive, not fully, because you can still get into
yeah.
But you can get away with a lot of stuff, and you can find people who have similar or conflicting ideas, who aren't cookie cutter, people who are of what you understand or know or represent, that have some say so that and you'll gravitate towards.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so And just like anything, it can be good or it could be bad. Don't get it twisted. But it does allow an avenue for folks who are not traditionally allowed in media spaces.
Yep.
And so people are able to flourish and get their shit off, show their intelligence, show their ability to host, show their knowledge base, show their charisma.
But not everybody deserves a mic, though.
Hell no.
Not everybody deserves a mic, but I know in general, knowing you two brothers, you deserve a mic. From the knowledge that good you got, and the knowledge you have, we have the knowledge to spread to the next generation of kids. And to me, from now on, it's been about the kids, because you can't. Sometimes you can't save the parents, because the parents don't give a shit. But you can try to save the kids, and I think that's where we're at now with being grown adults, especially being on the internet, because of course we know the internet is the gifted and cursed. But with podcasting or doing shows like this, man, you can have somebody out there that might be on the same page as you, and they really feeling y'all. So I'm glad you guys are doing this and expressing yourselves, because that's dope.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. Good and the bad. We ain't had too much bad. The bad we had was great. Got ran up on that bar. She looked good. We didn't mind that. They're like, hey. Let you tell your story.
That's funny, man. But so now, where did the idea come from? Why did you guys decide? And I don't mean to re-ask the question, but why did you guys decide to do a podcast?
Houston is the host of the Streets A&R Podcast. Now, because he got his own, and he be getting busy. So how it started, honestly, during the pandemic. I wanted to stay engaged with music. I've always been a person, when I DJ or just in music, I'm always looking for new artists, putting people on to new things. That's just how I do. I'm old school like that. I want to play what you don't got. So the whole time of the pandemic, every day I would post a song. Every day, except on Sundays, I would post a song from a different lead artist, and I did it for like 200 some days straight.
I did not know you was doing that, man. Yeah. Maybe because I was too busy trying to get my shit together during the pandemic. We were all trying to, but man, I did not know that. That's dope. That is dope.
I was doing that, and I was trying to figure out a name. I was like, man, I feel like I'm just putting people on. Like, and I've said it before. People like, you would probably be a dope A&R for a company if you like you got an ear for talent, and know how to find it. So I call it Streets A&R because Streets is, I'm not signed to anybody. I don't do this for a company, but also Streets represent where we live. We all live on the street somewhere, so it represents the people. And A&R and artists and repertoire, just putting people on, finding the talent, finding the ear. So I was doing that with the post, and I was like, man, people always say, you need to get on the mic. Like, you can get on the mic. But this man here, you can get on the mic. We need
but we said this a long time ago.
So it just had to happen. Yeah. I'll say had to loosely, but it had to happen. And then talking to Johnny, when we was just building on, especially around 2020, like it was a rough year, but it was a beautiful year.
Yeah.
It was very serene the way life was.
Man, the pandemic shut everything down. I think that was God's way of telling people to slow the hell down. And so just slow down a little bit. And not, and we just need y'all to just regroup. And I think, look what everybody's doing. Look what look what you guys are doing, because it slowed everybody down, and it told you that things can change like that. Mm-hmm.
I think it amplified whatever was in you, and that could have played out a couple ways. Mm-hmm. So it amplified whatever was in you. So
you're right.
You had anxiety and depression resting heavy on your soul, it amplified it. Yeah. If you had a will, to make different, it amplified it. It only amplified what was there.
And if your hustle game was tight, it amplified your hustle game to make you think about it.
So man, we were meeting, and we was like, we got to get a team. Basically, young guy was he was in Johnny's class in the summer at Upper Bound.
Okay,
he came by my class and would pop in causing ruckus.
But do you see again? It started with you guys and collectively come bringing everybody together with the knowledge I already had. Man, that's crazy, man.
Yes, sir. It was just pulling. And Miguel used to be down at the Bryant Center. Mm-hmm. Johnny was down there with his cousin Sherman. That's his kinfolk. Yep. So he talking to him, seeing what his skill set was. Like, we could use you. Brought him into a meeting. We had another individual with us, D, who was here at the beginning.
Yeah.
And we just literally started meeting in August, September. And
by
November, we were going. We recorded our last episode, I think the last week in November. Our first episode, excuse me. Like, so from
I don't think nobody knows how powerful we are when we start meeting and bringing the idea together. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny that people think that we need other people to do stuff. Mm-hmm. And like you said earlier in the show, no, we just need to get together, get the idea together, and move on it.
Yeah, man. Like,
stop BSing and just move on it. Shit.
Yeah, we didn't.
I think it's about people not gatekeeping either, because I mean, like me, right, with music, I wouldn't be where I was at music-wise if it wasn't for you.
But why do you figure? Because you were hustling, though, to get in that position to be there.
My little brother was the one who told me, go hand my CD to you. I hand that CD to you. You invited me to the radio station when Crit, Talib Kweli, and Tech 9 was coming through.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That was on you, OG, to plug me into that and bring me in. You listened to the music and actually checked it out, actually rotated, brought it on. So it's like the people who in position to actually amplify and empower the youth, a lot of times they be in competition with the youth. So it's more people like yourself who need the platform. So just thank you for what you do.
But I agree with that, because some of the people that run cities, they're gatekeepers, and we have a lot of gatekeepers in Omaha, and there's been a few times where I damn near cussed a lot of those gatekeepers out, because you need to stop holding on to either the money or the knowledge. Yep. Give it up, okay? Give it up. Everybody's trying to hoard shit, and that's why we still. That's why 24th and Lake still looking the way it look. Yep. That's why 16th Street.
That's what I was going to say.
16th Street.
Listen,
looking the way it's looking, and I know things take time, but it don't take 20, 30, 40 years when you can go down and people who are watching this podcast. We're talking about different streets in Omaha, Nebraska, Blackstone. Blackstone used to be crack alley.
Yeah.
Boom, all that. Come on, good.
Listen, when it was cheaters, you know what I'm saying?
Come on. Hey, Blackstone, that whole down area that used to be cracked out.
Vincent.
Now, buildings worth millions of dollars down there. Benson, same thing.
Midtown.
You know, so Midtown, all these different areas are flourishing, and the gatekeepers in our community either don't even. It seems like they don't give a shit about what's going on right now, or maybe they are, or maybe the other gatekeepers that are they're above them holding them back. See, I guess we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We're off topic a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? We off topic, but we on topic. Yeah. Because it maybe those gatekeepers are keeping the gatekeepers we thinking they're gatekeepers down.
So
we don't know.
So we need to jump the gate and go talk to the real ones. So there's a way to get to them, and this like I've been in the meetings with some heads of development companies off of whim, 2-hour crash course. The head man, and for no reason, homegirl invite me because she seen some plans that I wanted drawn up for like 16th Street. And she was like, I remember you in this class. Can you come with me? I don't know what they want. Bet I'll come with you. Got us lunch. Boom. This the game. This commercial real estate. 2-hour crash course. He could have been mining data, but he gonna move on or he ain't. But it don't even matter. Ain't nothing going on with it now.
You know what? Hey, that's what ski masks are for. That's what ski masks are for. We might have to make you do it.
Yeah, and I was just literally just talking to Soul a couple days ago, and we was talking about some of the issues with venues and where we be at, and sometimes the trouble we get ourselves in as people, but we don't. We can't dictate the rules or really ensure safety in these places because we don't own them. So as soon as one thing pop off, we get kicked out. Now we're down to zero. And he's like, you said, bro, he'd like us. He's like, I don't really want to complain. We just got to, he said, bro, we got to get back to ownership, period.
We do have to get back to ownership, but once we get ownership, it's the patrons that we have to still teach.
And which is fine.
So come on out, man. And that's the crazy thing, because you can be, a 22 to 35-year-old male or female, and not say, oh man, we don't have any place to go. Do you know why? Because people keep fucking it up. And you know why? Because they have the mentality where we don't have the ownership. If you had either one of those people that come into the club, come into the business, if they had their own business, they probably appreciate your business even more so. But guess what? We don't have none of that. We don't
have no business.
We don't have no business, and they don't have no business, so we ain't got no business doing any of that shit. That's crazy, huh? That part. That's crazy because you don't care if you walk into Walmart, own names, nobody cares. Nobody cares. So you can walk into either one of the grocery stores in our neighborhood. Does anybody care enough to pick the damn trash up in the parking lot? Does anybody care enough to be in your own neighborhood? I seen somebody the other day, and this is how I know no one cares about business, is that when I'm driving, I'm seeing this lady throw Chuck Popeyes right there out the window. Chuck, you got trash. You can have a trash can sitting right there, and no one gets out of their car, and then throws. You don't have enough pride for your neighborhood to where you get your ass out the car and throw it away because you ain't got no business.
They don't own their neighborhood because they're like, it ain't mine. They gonna deal with it.
You ain't got.
If it's yours. You wouldn't allow that.
You ain't got no business. You ain't got no. That's it.
What you finna say, Johnny?
I'm just thinking. Yeah. It's like an interesting dynamic with ownership, because we was just talking yesterday about how certain people, when they own stuff, they don't have the appreciation for it. So it's like, why, if you own this, why do you treat it a certain way?
Yeah.
So it's still a psychology with ownership where you got to take pride in ownership, but you got to take pride and move with love and ownership.
It's the Jordan effect. I bet you if somebody stepped on them damn Jordans, I bet you will have pride in your shit then.
It's not just owning. It's that what do you value? What does that owning it mean to you? What's the value of it to you? Which means if you don't value it worth being anything really for you, then you'll treat it any such way.
Where does it start at? Where does that value factor start though? Starts at home. And if nobody, whether it be a parent because in a one parent home or 2-parent home, if nobody cares to teach the next generation or to teach any type of value at all, no one's gonna care. I don't care what it is. No one's gonna care if you don't teach your son or daughter, or again, because I don't know if we've lost generations where the generation stopped teaching the next, because that's what it seemed like it's done. Where in our black communities, people stop teaching values to their kids. Or there's a flip side of that. Did you let social media, television, or video games teach your kids values? Which one is it?
I'm gonna just say that I think values.
You've been around kids. Yeah. You work with kids. What do you think?
Honestly, I think values are taught through actions. So we don't understand as kids what we're being taught when they're telling us things like make your bed up.
Okay.
When they're telling you iron your shirt. Because what you're teaching is presentability and decorum.
Okay.
You're teaching, make sure you put your best foot forward, but you're doing it through a different lens where I shouldn't have to tell you exactly this is why, but you should do that and watch how people treat you based on how you treat yourself.
Okay.
How you treat the things around you. Make sure my house is clean when I come home. It teaches you that anybody could come in here and you want to put your best foot forward if they do. We have guests that might pop up. Like these things we're taught. And maybe, I don't know if there's a lot of people teaching that.
No, they are not teaching that.
So
they're not teaching that, but because again, you have to lead by example. If you're telling somebody, if you're telling your kids to clean up their bed, okay, and they go in your room and see your shit messy every day, why should I clean up my bed? Mom or dad, y'all bed messy. Why should I go in there and clean up the kitchen? When ain't nobody, y'all not doing nothing. So again, you're right. You have to lead by example. If I'm ironing my shirt, son, son or daughter, this how you iron a shirt. So you're right. You have to lead by example. If you're not teaching the example, that no one else is going to respect any of the businesses or respect any of the neighborhoods or respect themselves.
Yeah, man. I don't know if we really want to go there today, but it's just so.
Hey, man, we going there.
I just be watching stuff, and I think we have lost. I don't want to say we are losing the importance of class, and not like the class system.
And what do you mean?
Carrying yourself with class is not as important anymore. For example, like you had the twerking senator in Rhode Island.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying you can't do what you want to do, but I think it was pushed as a campaign, right? Not on your personal. I'm just doing this.
Yeah.
Not even that.
Not catching you in the club. You doing this shit on purpose.
Yeah, you doing it as a part of. So I'm like, and that's just an example. Like do we not care about the
that's
form
where the culture has gone.
Being professional in our professions. So I don't like you being a professional, because professional is not a noun, it's an adjective. You can be a professional something, but you have to take a professional approach in whatever that is. So meaning even a hooper has to do certain things in their profession to make sure they're at the top notch in their profession.
Yeah. So any pro athlete should conduct themselves, whether female or male. You should conduct yourself in a way to maintain.
Yeah, and that's going to look different. Like, we don't expect y'all, some athletes, to have the same uphold the same standards, but we do expect you to work extremely hard in the gym. That's part of your profession.
Exactly.
That's part of yours. So you got to put in extra. You're expected to put in extra hours. You're expected to go get a manicure and pedicure and protect your investment in yourself.
Yep.
Like, so that's being a professional even in their realm. But we're kind of losing sight and trying to mirror everything and saying everybody can do everything at any time and it's okay. And it's not.
But when you got parent, again, you go back to parent, it starts at home first. When you got the parents who don't teach you how to be, have some type of class about yourself. And if you do happen to be that pro athlete and go to the next level, that's why they got these programs in the NBA, in the NFL, or whatever that teaches them how to be professionals, teaches them how to manage the money. And I've seen these different programs over the years because they've seen that none of these kids had the knowledge. Crazy, man.
I think it's bleeding over well past the athletes now, and it's like, who's teaching people how to conduct proper business? And that doesn't mean be a certain snob or snooty way. It's just certain aspects of business we talk about all the time. Like with us doing shows, everybody's gonna have a contract. We're gonna have contracts about every piece of the business part of it.
Yeah.
Which means what time you gotta be here. The money won't be here. If you don't perform this, you ain't gonna do this.
Yep.
You sign it. This is when you getting your money. But that's just being professional. In our business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we on a media run, you got to do these many appearances. This is the platforms we doing, but that's being professional, right? So but that somebody has to either teach you that or you got to learn the hard way.
Or do you think, because there's another theory about everybody being spoiled. You think everybody's spoiled? You think social media, you think the attention grabbing system got everybody spoiled?
Man, you remember that little thing I just told you about?
You say, hey man, see that? Boom! We look at that. We get it.
So it was a man. I was watching a motivational video. He said, he said my grandfather walked 10 miles to work. My father walked like 3 to 5 miles to walk. I had a Honda to go to work in when I was a working age. My son would have a Lexus. His son would have a Ferrari going, but then his son will be back walking. And he said, his son asked him, well, why is that? That he said, tough times make great men. Great men make easy times. Easy times make weak men. Weak men make tough times. So
y'all get that?
So the process, gaining fortitude, that process of wielding, sharpening that iron is what made people strong in whatever sense and whatever you're talking about. But when it becomes too easy, you don't have these skills. You lose these skills.
You don't have character.
And you're subject.
You don't have character.
Subject to go back and fall for whatever and get placed back in a situation that it started, that they helped build to keep you from going in it. But we don't realize there has to be some process. There has to be a process to a degree. You don't want all the hard lessons, but you got to have some lessons.
Let me ask you something, because you guys been working with kids for a little bit too. Does anybody know how to clean up their house? Does anybody know how to wash dishes? Does anybody know how to wipe down the bathroom and go in there and scrub the toilet? Does anybody know how to do the basic everyday thing? Like, I know kids who can't do the basics. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, like they literally don't wash dishes. Like
literally can't wipe down the toilet. Wipe down a toilet where you pee and piss in or shit in, and then they don't know how to do none of that stuff. Wipe down walls that you're touching every single day. Again, we're coming up in a different time, because when every Saturday, guess what it was for me and my brothers and sisters.
After you woke up early to watch some cartoons.
Yeah, but it's time to go wash the walls. It's time to go clean up. We already knew what it was, but again, when did the generation stop being responsible and teaching the next generation how to conduct themselves and how to have character?
It may be a lot of that. I want to give you everything I never had syndrome, which always is a detriment because you didn't know you didn't have it. You had everything you needed. It's okay. They don't need everything you never had. That's why you made it, because you didn't have everything.
So we go and we switch lanes real quick. Good. And when you were coming up rapping, did the next generation of MCs or that came before you try to help you during your process? Because I hear a lot of these stories about how we were so far trying to come up on our own after the 80s, Sugar Hill Gang, that we were so hungry to try to outdo ourselves that we stopped teaching the next generation how to conduct themselves musically, rap wise. So did anybody that came before you try to help you with your career, help you put you on besides the radio station stuff? We talking about hey, I see the potential in this young man. Did anybody try to teach you? Because I hear these stories about how our generation never taught the next generation of kids how to conduct themselves when they're doing music, because that's why you got all the mumble shit and all the people thinking they can actually have talent to do music, because I was told that the next generation of men and women didn't pass the knowledge on. Yeah. Did the knowledge get passed on to you?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. What do you mean? What do you mean?
So some things you learn indirectly. Some things you learn by observation.
Okay.
But I also did have an older cousin who did teach me the game. You know, my cousin Sherman Boss Man. You know, they was doing music under NRP, Nigga Rig Productions.
Okay.
So Untamed Music been around for a very, very long time. And my cousin was actually the first one who taught me how to count bars. So it was in counting bars. I remember FL Studios. You know, like I've been on FL Studios since FL Studio number 3. I think they own like FL Studio 22 right now.
And that's in Omaha.
No, that's
the digital interface.
Okay.
So to make beats on.
Okay.
So FL Studios, Logic, Reason.
Okay.
Stuff like
Yeah. Okay.
So I had made a beat on FL Studio and I sent it to my cousin, and I thought it was so fire. And he like, where the verse start at? Where the chorus come in at? So he had to teach me how to count bars, how to break down bars, the structure of a song. So
you had a good start on structuring songs, doing music, but a lot of these kids right now, they're even seeing them do what they do now. They've a lot of people are self-taught, because did the next generation, that generation, did you teach the next generation?
I try. I think that
what I'm saying? Did you teach the next generation?
I haven't directly sat down and taught like, okay, this is how you count this bar. This is what you do. I just kind of throw seeds out there. So like with this young man,
okay,
you know, he does music. They both do music. They've heard countless guests, and countless guests come here to talk about like my skills and what I've done in music, and I'm an open book for them. They haven't really came to come in, you know, so I'm more of I have the understanding that when the ears of wisdom are ready, the lips of wisdom will speak.
Yes, sir.
And so like when you ready, your master will appear, you know, and they ready.
I say, and again, are they self-taught? Are you guys self-taught? Are you musically? Are y'all self-taught?
Yeah.
See, so you didn't need the knowledge from this man, because the information is out there, and again, that's the gift and the curse with the internet. The information is out there for you, for the next generations to gain the knowledge, but you still gotta have that generation to where you sit down and you say, hey, this is what you do to structure a song. This is what you, and that's in any field. This is what you do to play football. This is what you do to play basketball. This is what you do to play chess. You know, you got to have somebody still tell you, you know, what to do in regards, because even though you guys are doing music and y'all getting to meet, you still need some type of OG to say, okay, you're doing this right, but you're doing this wrong.
And sometimes, man, it's just about being in the presence of people, because
I agree.
It's something called, you know, ZPD, which is zone of proximal development.
Okay.
Which is just by being in the proximity of a master, it can elevate your skill level. So some things people need help with.
Yeah.
Some things people can do with your help, and some things people would not be able to do even with your help. And so sometimes with some people who don't have belief in themselves, just being around the proper person will elevate them to the point where they can do what they thought that they could.
Hold on, Johnny.
I know you've seen it. That's
but hey, done
it. Like this is what
man.
coaches for.
So so that's what coaches are for. Yes, so players in the game, one day you're gonna need the coach to help y'all and to help you out, right? Yes, so there it is. That's cool.
Yeah, man. That's you go get it when you want to. Like that's how I stumbled upon DJing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Opening my mouth, making a decision and saying, man, I want to DJ. Dating my wife. She's like, oh, I used to intern for this one DJ. I call him. Oh, he having a workshop. You should go up to the workshop. I pull up and it ain't nothing but like 10-year-old kids. I said, but I better take my grown ass in there.
Exactly.
Voila. So, but when you ready, you'll go. So he was like, well, since she gave me this check, I'm going to give you this opportunity for free. She just hooked me up with this check, and I still had to show up. I still had to do my lessons, but I was ready to make that move. But you gotta be seeking. So,
but you know, you got to have it in you. You got to have it in you. You know, you say I'm gonna be a DJ, but you got to have it in you. I want to be an MC. You got to have it in you. I want to engineer. I want to do a podcast. You got to have it in you. If you don't have it in you to do anything but lay in your bed and scratch your balls or vagina, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Like the one thing these fellas here have is belief and understanding of why we're doing what we're doing. Like with or without no money, we made. Bro,
but hold up, what is that? What is that? That's a team.
Yeah.
And then you've been playing for teams for how long?
Right.
You've been playing, and you know, now you quarterback and now you coaching. See, that's what I'm saying. And it takes the team to make it happen.
Yeah, and it's you got to have some type. What they can get out of this is what they put into it. There's a lot of like intrinsic value in what we're doing, regardless if we ever see a real dime or not. Like the things they can pull from this is going to be up to them.
Yeah.
But they like we see vision for what, not just what we doing, but what individual can do.
Yeah.
Like I see when like vision, and we talk regularly. So it's like by just stepping stone, I'm cool. You know, we want it to be millions of views.
Yeah.
But I'm cool if this is a launch for them. I did my job. I did my job. Like that's how I feel about it. Yeah. And it's like, and I'm cool when like the things we started on episode 1 have been manifesting this year.
That part.
We talked about artists on episode 1, and two of them have come to Omaha.
Yep.
Nice.
And we, you know what I'm saying? Like we done brought 2 of them.
Yep.
So it's that type of stuff is coming full circle. Like, are you moving how you're supposed to be moving? Because it'll fall into place.
Are you pissed that you started the podcast thing late?
No.
Now, when I say started the podcast thing late, I start podcasting late because now it seems like everyone has a podcast.
How many of them made it past 10 episodes?
But hold up. Yeah. Here, my point is this: Joe Rogan, and he's going to be the architect of this whole situation. Joe Rogan has been doing this podcast for a long as time. Whether you like Joe Rogan or not, he was one of the first ones to really start putting down the podcast game, and when nobody saw the vision. What was it, about 15 years ago? And it's crazy that, you know, with the exception of when did YouTube come into play?
2006.
Yeah.
2006, so early 2000s. So it's crazy that everybody started putting that information out there, and it seemed like we're late. We're not late, but it seemed like we are late. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been touching on subjects that we're already touching on now too, but it's our perspective. But it's crazy that they got 15 years on us doing podcasting, man. So we are late, because if you think about it, how many episodes we're talking about? 10 episodes right now. Joe Rogan has damn near a gazillion episode. You know what I'm saying? And then watching his podcast and watching all the different people that this dude brings on, I know, and knowing this guy, meeting this guy when, you know, being in the UFC and talking to him and seeing him move, every person that he's brought on, he's learned something from. He's gained the knowledge on. So it's crazy to just see that process. And I wish we would have been doing this in our community. I wish we would have been doing this sooner. You know, what to see you development from you being, you know, your dad coming from Africa, and you having your journey and talking about your journey. You could have helped a whole lot of people who are on the same journey as you.
Listen, that's
football wise, if you would.
Whole nother podcast. Calm down.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. See, hey, woo.
That story has plans.
Yes.
That story has plans.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you know, and I'll end it with that because I know you want to do that. Just think if you would have been doing this 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Along with Djing, and how powerful it would be right now if you would have kept it consistent for 10 years.
But
that's crazy.
I think things come when we're ready. And I think even the podcasting space is more about perspective. Are we late or are we early? If think about what's really coming down the pipe as far as amplifying voices, real contracts. They still ain't figured out contract structure. They still ain't figured out ad space like that. People are still experimenting on everything. I'm watching people like there are some people who are bigger risk takers in podcasting. Like Joe Budden is a risk taking nigga when it comes to that realm. When it just
why is it because he talks shit?
No,
or what? What is it? What is it that makes him a risk taker with podcasting?
He doesn't just take it for the checks. He sees something beyond he understands a very simple concept. If I'm an artist and they're offering me $30 million, how much am I really worth? How much am I really bringing? And how can I get to that? Right? So he's always he's just doing it. He's trying out different shit. He's on with starter companies doing different things.
But you know who was saying that shit before Joe Budden's?
What's that?
Master fucking P.
Of course.
Master P was stuck, man. We thought Master P we thought it was crazy.
Who did? Y'all might have.
No, we're not saying us in particular. Yeah. We talk about outside people who weren't listening to Master P. But Master P was talking about all these things 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. Ownership. Yeah. Talking about doing this and doing that. He was talking about this 15 years ago.
But you gotta remember, the reason of the reason the country I come from is get it out the trunk. I come from Texas and been watching Lil Flip, watching Master P.
No doubt, yes.
That was ingrained. It's always go get it and go hustle and go get it and owning shit. I've never known nothing different. We weren't searching for deals. You get what I'm saying? So my whole perspective of, especially in music and business, has always been about going to get it and cultivating your own.
No doubt.
Cultivating the people around you. Bro, the one that we talk about it. Master P, the best thing about Master P CDs was getting the previews for every other artist that's dropping that year.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So this was ingrained in us. So that's why when I said we never looked at it like that. We always looked at that as the blueprint. There was no other way.
Yeah,
for
man.
us. Because we knew what they were about, what they were doing.
You're right.
We weren't looking for an easy check. We were like, man, we got to go make it on our own. We going to go make it happen. And to make it happen, we need to make sure the people around us is happening. And we need to come together and make this syndicate move.
But see, it was a lot easier for y'all in Texas, though. It wasn't it wasn't easy for us in Nebraska because again, bigger population in Texas, especially with a black following down in Texas. Here, if we wanted people, especially of color, to purchase our music, we was trying to do the go to the trunk thing as well, but our population wasn't that big. You know what I'm saying? So again, that was our struggle here.
Yeah.
So because we was doing the same exact thing because we're not New York, we're not LA. But y'all Texas. Y'all still had that. Y'all still had that before the internet. Y'all still had that population of Negroes and Hispanic dudes that are down there buying up the music. If we're talking about that here in Nebraska, you go on 30th and Ames and try to sell your CD. You're not gonna have a lot of people.
But
buy your shit.
I don't think that's due to size. That's due to the culture in the South. Everybody will tell you the South is friendly. Everybody wants to see people eat. This is the same narrative that's going on in Atlanta. Everybody, regardless if I really like you or not, knows to not bite that man's hand, to make sure that they eating too, to put them on. Our circuit down there it wasn't the people. I would think it should be easier, but it's different because of the mindset. Yep. People want to see you fail in places like this, not see you win.
Why? But because the population is so dense and everybody's trying to get it, so you have that crab in the barrel mentality? Is it because of the population?
Not because of the population. It's because of what they made the population believe. The only way you can make it is only one of y'all can get it. So when they make you believe only one can get it, then you start to grab at everybody. See, down there they knew it was no limit to. That's why he called the shit no limit. There is none. So we can all eat. And it would actually makes more sense if I'm feeding you and you got fans and I bring you on my show, you got my fans and I got your fans. So then we go get them. This is just simple math. It's addition.
But we know it. We know that. So,
but here when we talked about the gatekeeping, like this is the issue. When the gatekeeping here is about castration. They want to leave you with one nut. And they can't be but one of y'all cows with one nut.
But you got gatekeepers, but I call them AKA hoarders. They be trying to hoard on to everything, hoard on to all the businesses, and hoard on to all the money. You got then they're hoarders as well. So it's crazy, man. But yeah, any small population areas, we do not have a lot of we can go full circle. We don't have a lot of businesses that we own. We don't have a lot of venues that we own. So guess what? That controls the music in itself right there.
That part, because I mean, back in the '90s, we had Leolas.
We had our own. We had the Go Ahead magazine. We had the information being spread around. Being spread around the communities, and we had the radio station.
But it goes back to what Young God said his goal is, which is starting a media company. So that's what podcasting is. That's what journalism is. That's what photography. All of this stuff, radio. This stuff is all elements of media, and like that's why it's important. Like before television, radio was how people.
You can't not negate the fact that radio is still powerful.
That's why podcasting is in the space that it is. And I mean, as you start talking about Web 3.0 and metaverse and all of that different stuff, you can start creating digital environments in which you can have immersive environments to check out your podcast. You could have a Streets A&R metaverse room in which you sit in a digital replica.
But just remember, you still have those people who don't know nothing about any of that.
For sure.
So guess what they would rather do? Turn on the radio.
And that's why
that's why you give them that information.
But that's why what you're saying is very key. Like dinosaur radio itself is never dead.
Never.
Director of programs, Paul Porter for BET. I had the opportunity to interview him. And one thing that he started was his own radio company. And he told me if I was to ever start, make sure you get you a radio company. So like it's people out there who got the game that's gonna tell you.
Now we have a gatekeeper, and I'm I keep forgetting her name, who owns a gazillion radio stations across the country, or did at one point, and that was from Omaha.
Cathy Hughes.
Cathy Hughes, and I think we've talked about this before. Cathy Hughes owns, and she's from here, and I think she left here a long time ago, but she was born here. Left, and started her radio empire and got it cracking somewhere else. But and from what I understand, she was trying to buy up a few radio stations here, but but they wouldn't sell them to her, or I'm not for sure how that went. But even in that, she could at least have some type of master class, or some type of Cathy Hughes something in here in town. To let people know that, hey, this is how you can make it. This is the format. This is how we made it, and this is how I established my business. So the knowledge wasn't spread. Right. It was spread elsewhere. You spread it in L.A. You went to New York. You went to all these bigger cities, but you left behind the kids that could have had the same drive as you. You left behind the kids and they leave shit behind. All you and I'm sure I probably don't know nothing about her business venues in town. I'm sure she tried to buy a few radio stations, but if you couldn't do that, where's the offices? Where's the Cathy Hughes office or the class teaching the kids how to set up the radio stations?
Well, I'm gonna just ask this: who's asked her? And the reason I say that is because
I've heard she's been asked.
No, I don't know. I don't know nothing about it. So what I'm saying is, maybe she felt like there was nobody wanting that, and that could be her fault, or it could be the people in her ears' fault. Say, no, nobody want that here. You got. We have a day in Omaha that I've never heard of before in any other city that celebrates the talent here that had to leave to go make it. There is something to be said about that. There is something to be said for some reason. We have all this talent here.
Resources, man. Resources. Resources. Where's the Gabrielle Union classes? Where's the Gabrielle Union classes? Gabrielle's from here, and I get it. You know, you're doing your thing outside of here, and I don't expect everybody to come back to the neighborhood, but you got kids who look up to you, and they could be the next Gabrielle Union. You know what I'm saying? They could be the next Gabrielle Union. You know, that's why I respect Bud. Bud here. You can see Bud in Walmart. You can see Bud, at the car place. And so if you got that kid, who see the world champion in his own city, that I respect that. I respect that. But people ask me, how come you're not gone? I could have left a long time ago. You know why? I can go any place. I can get on the plane and go any place I want to. But what about the kids that we still have to spread the knowledge? I'm big on the spread the knowledge thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when doing the school tours, putting together the school program that I did, teaching these generation of kids about the culture that they've grown up in, and teaching them that it's our culture. And I know we're switching lanes again, but teaching these kids about the hip hop culture and keeping it here for all of us, because there's not been one elementary, middle school, high school, or any type of college that somebody come up to me and say, I remember you coming to our school. I remember you I remember you coming to our school in 2003. I'm like, damn, how old are you? So again, but we're still spreading the knowledge. I'm in Westroads in one of the malls here, and some lady came up to me and said, music, dance, and art. I was like, where did that come from? You came to my school 10 years ago. And I remember you talking about the culture of hip hop, and that it was about music and about dance and about art. I said, how old are you? She said, I'm 28. So it's crazy, man, that again, Gabrielle, Cathy, whomever, Warren Buffett ain't going nowhere. Warren Buffett, he one of the richest dudes in the world. I respect it. Guess where LeBron James they got to come if they want a financial advice. Guess where Jay-Z came, to get financial advice.
Right down the street.
They came. They flew in their private jets. Nobody knew they was in town. Sir. And guess who they went to go see? Sir. They went to go see Warren Buffett. And where does Warren Buffett stay? Omaha, Nebraska.
In the neighborhood too.
In the neighborhood, driving a Cadillac. Man. Driving a Cadillac. He ain't too. And so if you got the richest man, one of the richest men in the world doing that, why can't we have the average Joes doing that, and and just feel some type of loyalty to where you came from?
No,
crazy. I don't know. Hey, you can go back to Texas and still get props.
Oh yeah.
See what I'm saying?
It's in the plans. It's things.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You can still go back to Texas and get props because again, you came up in an area and people still respect you. See, and so why can't we have these people who are prominent in these other communities come back to the community and teach our kids?
But this is why I got a call back from earlier. This is why the importance of a title like legend is important, so the kids recognize who you are and what you're doing. So everybody, just because they made it, ain't a legend. You ask what qualifies.
Yeah.
You just named the criteria and didn't know it. That's one of them that could be. So you know what I'm saying? So, but that's why we say these things. It's a bigger picture than just somebody being famous or known. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. We drilling down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to Lupe with drill music design. Drilling down.
Now, on the subject of hip hop, what are you guys listening to right now? What are you listening to that's moving the needle for you? Soul wise, because I know you got all the music, and I know you get all the players in the game with the record pools you deal with. But who and good? I know you as well. What's moving? Who's moving y'all right now?
Man,
who's moving y'all right now?
Man, I mean,
one person. It got to be one person.
One person
or a group.
One person who moving me right now.
Yeah.
We actually just brought him in. You know, man, shout out to Lil Russell, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that brother's really doing some things on that music-wise, man. So, like, that was one of the artists who I mentioned that I seen having big things popping this year, and we've been a part of helping.
But why is he moving you? What is it? What qualifies this man to? Is it him as a person, or is it music?
It's a little bit of both. Like, I don't know him as a person, but the interactions I have, like, it's genuine. But it's what he represents as far as like the artistry, the art of MCing and what music is supposed to be about. But he also knows how to make very, very in-depth conversations palatable. Like, he knows how to make this stuff digestible to the average ear. It's something that my guy Chickadibia called conscious ignorance.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's organized in a way in which the average person consuming it don't realize that they're consuming something great. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
And so I really respect his artistry and what he's bringing. You got to really check him out.
All right. Hey, what about you?
I could take an easy answer and say somebody that's been here, but I'm not. I had to go to a wedding in Phoenix with my fraternity brothers. And so Corday had a show. Because anywhere city I go, I'm going to go to a concert. I'm going to look on the app, bands in town, find me a show. So I looked this up. And I thought one artist was going to be there, but they weren't. Then these group of 4 niggas get on the stage. And they going batshit crazy. I'm like people talking. I'm like, Cap, I'm stuck. Like, who is these dudes? Because they're radiating, right? I can feel them. Like, I'm in this shit, like, from jump. And the way they going on cadence with each other, they move it. And I'm like, but they rapping. And it's a group that literally blew up on their first album this year.
Now, who is that?
Coast Contra.
Correct.
You gotta check.
Yeah.
Coast Contra, one of the toughest albums this year. But the spirit, and literally they're blowing up by even almost setting it up like have like a podcast, and they just get on there rapping and they freestyling, they going crazy, and they did that as part of their promo rollout, and they still going now, even though the album been out for months. And it's like, but to see when you talk about a team and that synergy that exists between them, you can feel that shit. And when you in their presence, you really can. If you tapped in, you feel.
That's what I'm saying. You feel it in your soul. You feel it in your soul.
Bro, I came back, was like, bro, y'all got to check these niggas. Like, these, I was high, bro.
And that's crazy that you know that we got to find. We can't find soul people that move your soul like that on radio. We know we can't, because they force feeding that to you, and you got to go get it yourself.
It's just not the formula right now for a radio record. You got to remember, also, I grew up with the 106 in Parks. There was a time where even soul music, we had an episode on soul music, but there was a time where soul music was for radio. There was a time where Badu, Dwele was on the top 10 countdown. You get what I'm saying? Like, so, but right now, that's not the formula for radio until...
You know what the formula for the radio is? A whole bunch of Aaliyahs. Think about that. A whole bunch of Aaliyahs. Everybody looking like. Everybody looking like. Everybody sound like a whole bunch of Aaliyahs.
That's the singing version. It's either that or the homegirl on the women's side, the ratchet homegirl that everybody know.
And why is it that the women like the ratchet shit? But we all gonna like. Well, that's another podcast.
Gonna be our last episode.
I think it's just about speaking to a feeling of repression, right? Like, and a lot of women are repressed by the roles that they're supposed to be playing, like even sexually, right? Like, with a lot of women, they, especially in the presence of masculine energy, they are rejoiced to relinquish control.
I get it.
So, like, with a lot of them, they're repressed by feeling they like that energy. Like, they on that same type of time. Like, one of the biggest mistakes I made when I was younger was thinking that sex wasn't as important to my woman as it was to me.
Oh, shit.
It's more important to your women.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Sex in a relationship and watch that relationship crumble.
And even if they don't want it all the time, it means something to them. Like, they're more willing to only give themselves to you than you are more willing to only give yourself to them.
I get it. Yeah.
So,
but here, let me give you someone I've been listening to, but I've been listening to ever since he first started, and I've heard all types of music. And I've heard all types of artists being sent to me through email, either or just checking out all these different sites. And even before they started doing all the music, the record pools, not radio stations, record labels were sending me all their new artists all the time to play on the show. So one person that stood out to me, and that's crazy, what happened to him was Nipsey. Now I'm gonna break this down to you. If you listen to Nipsey, okay, Crip this, blah 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 this, and all that stuff. From the first album and from the first sentence, that man was talking about his community and bettering his community, and no one was hearing the subliminal messages he was already putting out there about doing for his community, and I was like, wow. And just go back to some of his first music.
All right, I got it.
You know, he was already talking about doing for his community, dog. Putting real estate, buying real estate. He was all the stuff that he was talking about. Just in the past few minutes, this man was already talking about that in his first rap. He wasn't just talking about gangbanging and stuff like that. This dude was talking about bettering his community and doing for self and making money for yourself and respecting yourself. He was saying all this stuff in some gangster shit or ass way. So he was Johnny No Good. before he even started doing albums. Same stuff you were saying and you was doing. So it's just crazy, man, that he was taken out in his own community. But he was bigging up in his community from day one. You see how 360 things get? Yeah. And ever since, cause I was already listening to him already before everybody's like, oh, Nipsey hustle this and then Nipsey hustle this. I was already listening to him when he had the bare face and all that stuff. So I was already on that. But it's crazy that this man was already bigging up his community, and I was drawn to this man, his delivery, and everybody was like, "Oh, no, he just talking like Snoop. He just another Snoop." I was like, there's a little difference. It's a little different. They see that everybody on the West Coast got that cadence anyway. They got that cadence, that laid back cadence anyway. But it's still, I thought, and it's weird that Nipsey rap better than Snoop, and because he's been one of the guys that I'm listening to. I'm still listening to him right now.
Yeah, it's a few that's really they use where they came from and what they came out of as a reference more than anything. And it helps you just build the context. They're trying to tell you the context of them so you can understand when they say certain things and you see how they move, you have a good premise of why they're doing it. It's not to glorify. And you can always tell that. Somebody that I love and I big up all the time. Yes, sir. One of the best, brightest minds is Vince Staples. Yes, sir. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, to hear him in interview and he just say, like, they'll ask him a question, he's like, oh, no. They be like, you game, no, we off that, man. We ain't putting nobody on the set. Now, he'll say it quick, and if you don't hear him, like, you mean to tell me that one of his solutions to ending some of this is making sure the big homies don't jump nobody else in? They don't put nobody else on. So we know that if you say you from here, we know you lying because we didn't get you in. Because they still got politics over there, so you can't just do that. But that's brilliant to understand that some of that may be all it takes, at least in my section, what I can help control. Yep. Like that right there, like stuff like, and it goes. And it
really happens because that's what happened to a lot of ball players is they don't be allowed to be active. They keep them separate so that they can go and do what they do.
Or the police looking at y'all where you gotta stop.
Like they talk about Richard Sherman. They were trying to call Richard Sherman a thug because he's from Compton. He's like, I'm not a thug. He said they wouldn't let me if I wanted to because they knew he had a different mission. They said, no.
Exactly.
You go do this. You do this when this got to be your life. This ain't got to be yours. We see what you want, but that's a real big homie move to be like, we know what your potential is. We got to make sure you go fulfill that because you make us look good by doing that. Yep. You still represent. You still here. So that's big homie and for real. So they really doing the big homie shit in a way that's going to be more productive and make a more conducive environment for better. Like, that's what they own. We just don't hear because we listen to the bullshit.
But hold on, I'm about to switch lanes on y'all again. Because you from Texas. Mm-hmm. Okay. Who you riding with? Who if you gotta get in somebody's car, who you riding with? UGK or Outkast?
Riding with as far as what?
Music wise, you jumping. Hey, you got to jump in the car. Which is it UGK or is it
like Texas has its own ecosystem, bro. Like
I know
people people don't really understand. When you not from Texas, you don't understand the ecosystem of music that.
And when you say that, what you mean?
I mean, we rock our own 100% of the time, all the time. You can go to a club and not hear one record away from Texas and party all night.
Wow.
Like, that's how we used to be. Now music is more
integrated. Yeah.
So, but we grew up, Texas has, I know New York is like giving the mixtape capital shit, but I don't know. Texas is a different style of tape, and it's a different style. Like it wasn't just the DJs giving tapes. Like we weren't really making mixtapes. They were making albums. They just had to give them out their trunk or give them for free, and they were making them.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you something crazy. I was down in Houston, right when Screw died, and that's all they played. That's every car in the state of Houston, or in the city of Houston, Texas. That's all you heard was Screwed. All that whole year. Right after he passed, I was there, and that's all you heard.
And what people don't understand, people like there is no Texas music because Houston is a complete flip from Dallas. Two complete different musical styles, tempos, cadences. Subject matter completely different. You're like in a whole nother place.
Man, and so when they say Texas like another country, they not playing.
No. So because you go Houston, you got Dallas music, and then what happens is Shreveport, Louisiana is on the border.
Okay.
So a lot of East Texas, where I'm from, was heavily influenced by Louisiana bounce music.
Okay.
Heavily. So we get the boom, 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 boom. The Foxes, all of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not just Boosie. Like, we literally was in there. Hurricane Chris had joints. You know what I'm saying? Fox a Million had joints. Like, we in the club bouncing around.
And you got to think about this, man. Again, it just goes back to what we was talking about earlier. Y'all had the population. Y'all got Texas is its own country. And that's what I'm saying. So y'all could sustain and stay in that area and eat in that area. We can't eat here but we could eat in Nebraska, but come on, man.
Yeah, but y'all fighting for the same meal.
But see this right there. Also, but if we're fighting to cook the same meal, then you got all the people that are around you and that are ethnically not us. We got white folks that they either they with you or they not with you, and that's how the demographic is made up here. So, but in Texas, you can be down there and have that whole population of people supporting your music, like you said. You didn't have to go outside of Texas to make that money. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Yeah, but they still had to choose to support one another. Like that could have went the complete opposite way. Like with DSR in Dallas area, what they were doing, what Swisher House were doing, like, and to bring up the people outside of Swisher House to work with them, to bring them in the fold in general, like Chameleonaire, Big Pokey, all them type of people. You got Slim Thug, Paul Wall popping up, and they still rocking with them, and they working with Swisher House artists, and they working with, you know what I'm saying? Like
everybody was working with everybody.
So that's what I'm saying. It still took them to recognize we'll pop if we make our shit pop first. So if we all got the spins, somebody not from here is gonna realize who the hell are y'all spending all the time. We got to get that.
Yeah.
So they understood that business aspect of the only way to get spins is to spin the shit. So we got to make sure everybody's on rotation. We getting it going, and you just got competition in itself. Competition is good. So we working it out.
But see, being in the community and doing all the things, because I know we not gonna be in a podcast for 1,000 years, but I wanted to ask you this openly because you've been from Texas and you've seen that. What do we need to do collectively as artists, as DJs, as people in our culture here? What do we need to do collectively to make it pop for us here? So you see, now you a Texan coming to Nebraska, so I need to ask you that again, and I need the raw. You need you to look out to these people and tell these people what we need.
They don't be want to know the truth.
They don't. We don't care what they want. We just tell them, man, because you come from the community supporting music. You come from the radio supporting their artists. What do we need to do, man?
The first thing you got to do is tell the truth. If you ask, get out the way.
Thank you.
Until you ready. That's the first thing you have to. You have to be ready to put your best foot forward. So if this artist ain't that great, don't be hyping them up like that. They great. You got to tell them they ass, and they got to be like, all right, how do I wipe my ass? So we got to be open for constructive criticism. One thing I noticed, and I don't know if this is worldwide, I've just been here for the last 9 years, we are not open to real criticism. We think
you're right.
All this shit is hate. And I'm like, no, that's love. Cause they trying to tell you where you deficient at. So listen to the people that's trying to give you the pointers, not just say, oh, that shit weak. Hey man, that wasn't that good. You could have did this. We could have did this. You need to bring this up. My man Montreal, when Soul was here, you played him a song. He's like, no, you need to do this and this and this, right? He don't know you from a can of paint. You could have took it a certain way, but he didn't shit on you. He was like, no, this is literally what you need to start working on to make it better. Now it's up to you to either be in your feelings or not. You get what I'm saying?
But how funny is that you mentioned that? Because everybody that came up to the radio station to be on the radio station with me got critiqued.
And you made them do a freestyle session beforehand.
Hey, you had to bust.
Yes, sir.
If you was whack, I told you to go back to the lab.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Get this right. Yep. Get this right. And, you didn't get shitted on, but this ain't ready yet. Right?
Yep.
So you're right. You need that first line of defense.
I think is the truth telling and being okay with accepting the truth, so you can actually move on how you can improve yourself. Like we got to be ready for improvement, not thinking that our shit don't stink. And then too, I think we need to really realize the power of a community collective of working as a unit, of keeping the dollars in the place. And in music terms, it's literally like, don't just tell me I'm dope. Why haven't we did a track together? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why haven't we worked? And it don't take much. Or is your ego too inflated? You think you the big dog, and then you think you the big dog, so y'all don't work. Instead of just saying, man, I fuck with you. I fuck with you too. Should be like some romantic.
Nowadays it should be easy. Send the verse and put it on the track, right?
But somebody thinks they're higher than the other. This is why I mentioned ego. So
okay.
And sometimes it is. Sometimes one is. Now you got to realize, are you doing this as money? And you can actually big them up. Or are you looking at it as, I want to bring them along with me, which is okay with either, but we got to be, I told you to tell the truth, we got to be upfront. Hey, man, I got this many followers in my music and I really do this. Like, I'll give you a verse. I might give you the homie discount, but it's going to cost. And just being okay with that, if that's what it is. Or if you like, no, I really mess with you. I want to look out for you. I'm going to give you this verse. I'm going to gift you this verse. The big time artists still do this. Lil Baby gifted Vince Staples his verse on his album. He didn't charge Vince, but it's like Jill Scott and Big Crit ain't charging each other because they just work on each other. They bartering, right? So it's getting to that, like seeing value and being okay with exchanging if you truly feel they that great. Because I think most of them don't feel that everybody that great, and they just won't tell them to their face.
I know you guys know who Queso is, right? Okay, now I talked to him a couple of times. Doing music down in Atlanta. He's been trying to get a movement going to where he's trying to bring everybody together too. So that, I gotta acknowledge that fact, that hearing him talk and hearing him wanting to bring all these people together collectively. Like you said, it's a start. You got to come together collectively to help each other out. And I think again, crab in the barrel type mind state. You know what I'm saying? You got to stop it. We got to get together.
Yeah, like when we we've done these shows, and like we put shows together, and the one thing I always tell my artists, even if they charge and it's giving them the opportunity to work, and the people here to work with an artist not from here that may have a bigger following, and when we talked about LaRussell, LaRussell got a huge following. He got a project, and he's using some of the homies' shit legitimately. On his already recorded, ready to go. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he was like, no, that shit dope. I'm gonna work with y'all. I said, and it's like Chuck came here. We got Chuck Indigo here for the sneaker soiree. Chuck recorded something with one of our talents here. And just off the strength, took him to the play. Like, yo, this place is dope. Boom, let's record. Even just knocking the cobwebs off and just saying, like, this is helping me get to a space where I want to create again. It's building that. And it's working with people who, believe, again, that belief word, like.
But you had, and I suggest to any artist, because and these fake ass promoters they're here in town making us all look bad, because I'm gonna put that out there too. If you are a fake promoter thinking you promoting anything out here to better the culture, not stop it. If your shit always flopping and flip flopping because you're not doing good business, stop being a promoter. But I was at one of the hip hop joints, and I had to tell all the artists to stop acting like bitches.
What you mean by that? Now I gotta know. What you mean? Get specific.
I said stop acting like bitches, because everybody get on the internet and think that they've made it. Like you said, you got a few views. You got a couple thousand views. You got 5,000 views. You think you made it, but you're not touching anybody. You're not touching anybody in your own city. Nobody sees you at shows. Nobody sees you start selling merch. Nobody sees your flyers, because you still can put the flyers out there. No one sees you out there paying for advertisement on television or radio if you're thinking you're dope. No one's putting the work. They're just putting stuff online and thinking they're stars. But you got people in your own community that don't know the fuck you are. So stop acting like bitches. And that's just a metaphor to me saying stop being on the internet thinking that you've made it when you're not touching nobody. Can't nobody touch. I'm touching Johnny right now. Can't nobody touch you. Can't nobody have a conversation with you that know what your personality is. So if anybody know who Johnny is, you can't come up to him with no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You can't come up to you with the buffoonery. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna hit them with the knowledge, and they know that you are a talented man. Yes, sir. So, but if all you was doing is just doing internet stuff, they're not gonna know they're not gonna know not to come up to you with that BS.
Yes, sir.
Or eat. Same thing with you. You knowledgeable man doing stuff for the community, but if they don't know you and come up to you and they just see you on the internet and don't touch you or have a conversation with you and rub you the wrong way, they don't know, because you ain't out there putting in the work.
Yeah, they don't know. Like, I be at the gym 4 times a week and put these down.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. People just don't know. So you got to put in the work, and you got to be out there politicking. You got to politic just like in the days of selling your shit out the trunk. You got to politic. You ain't got to kiss nobody's ass, but we got to know who you are as an artist for us to support you.
Yeah, man, it's truly important. It's more important now because it's such easy access and easy starting points to get into music. How we gonna be able to separate you? What'd you say, Johnny? Separate the wheat from the tare?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How we gonna be able to separate you if the truth? Like, you gotta put that work in. Like,
you got 10,000 views, but with no record sales. You got 10,000. Where your support at? Young man, where you support at? You got 20,000 views. Oh man, I got 1 million views. You got 5 people at your show.
They like you for the antics of the look.
So again, you got to be out there touching people. You got to touch some people, and that the same thing with reality. You know who reality is, right?
I don't.
See, no one knows Reality by his first name.
Oh yeah. I do know Reality.
Come on.
I do know Reality.
Come on.
You talking about Ice? Listen.
Bow. Come on now.
I forgot for a second.
Come on, man.
Listen, I do remember
man.
Reality when he had the Mortal Kombat beat.
Thank you. Come on, man.
Crazy. Come on, man.
Everybody that's been doing music for the past 15, 20 years have came up to the station at least once.
Yep.
So when the time I see him out there putting in, doing his work and doing the shows, et cetera. But the question I need to ask him now is who you putting on? Who you putting on now? Okay, I know we know you're trying to establish yourself, but who is that guy? From Omaha. Sitting in the cut waiting with you.
I will say
going to all your shows with you.
I will say
let me introduce you to my homeboy Johnny No Good. Blah blah blah.
Say he put his boy Table in position. Yeah, he did look out.
No, Table is from here.
Table's from here.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So I don't know. So that's why I'm asking.
And that was before the fame. He established fame, came back for Table, and Table doing his own thing right now.
Thank you. And that's what I'm talking about.
And there's a trickle down effect because I think he fucked heavy with Chink Diamond.
Yep.
Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what, man. Come back. Come get him. Yeah. Come get him. That's all we talking about.
Yes, sir, man. We're going to have to do a part 2.
Man,
we're going. I know it's time to wrap it up. I know they would see it. This is when you know it's time to wrap your podcast up, when everybody looking at their phone.
Yeah.
Everybody
I'm checking.
Man, I appreciate y'all having, and I know we've been all over the place, man, but having this conversation is what we need to have. Having a dialect is what we need to have, and spreading the knowledge is what we need to do.
Yes, sir, man. You guys, I'm good.
Man, that's it, man.
We ate today.
Yeah, we ate. We ate full. You know what I'm saying? But just thank you again for who you are, what you represent for the culture. Just represent music, hip hop, everything you always been about. You one of those people who took the time to actually listen to the music. You would see me out. I still remember I seen you on 16th Street at the corner store. You asked me what new music I had. Sent you to Can I Live before I dropped the Zik Tape 2. You put it on the radio.
It was on the radio. It was on the radio the next day.
Yes, sir. So just thank you for being authentic in yourself and with your word, bro.
And Houston, what you got coming up? I feel like you finna go whoop some ass real soon.
Man. Hey, the funny thing about it is, and this is a great way to outro, is that we're doing the bare knuckle thing. I'm doing the bare knuckle championship. It's like it's boxing without the gloves, and I'm built for that. That's easy. No kicking, no knee in, no takedowns. Guess what? This is just us straight up whooping each other's ass, and the whole object is not to get hit, and I ain't got hit yet. Yeah. So that's coming up. I got the Culture Shot School Tour where we're going to the schools and teach the kids about hip hop culture. That's about to go viral. We just did we just paid some money to get a 360 degree program to where we were literally gonna put the Culture Shot School Tour into the schools, into all the computer classes and all OPS schools, starting with OPS. They'll be able to learn about the culture of hip hop individually, going and talking about maybe saying graffiti art. Have a guy doing graffiti art. We have a part of that whole entire video where the kids can do the video, or they can do the graffiti art themselves. They get the history, the whole thing on each subject matter, and it's all 360 degrees. So it's something that's not been done, and it's gonna be dope, man. Once we launch it this school year, it's gonna be crazy. And then what else? Still working on the podcast stuff. Got something big coming up with that, and then working on, man, just movies, and then, like we said, the pandemic was, it was a bad thing that happened. A lot of people, but you had to step your game up, and it made me step my hustle up like anybody else. And so I found out that if you're gonna work hard for yourself.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is.
That's it.
So check out all the social media sites, of course, on social media under Houston Alexander, and that's it. So. And it's still hard to accept the legend thing, but I understand where you're coming from, where having that title has weight, to a certain degree when you need it to have that weight. So, but also, if I got to be a legend, I'm gonna be a servant in the end.
That part.
Just like a map, man. The legend gives you the outline.
That part.
Well, that's the graffiti art too. Yeah. I'm still having everybody's been asking me for some graffiti art too, man. I've been doing the graffiti art thing too. So it's crazy, man, how things go 360 with things you love doing it, because it's not work. It's not work if you love doing it.
That part,
man. Man, it's been one of them. Man, we appreciate y'all, man. You know where to find us, Streets A&R, at Streets A&R everywhere. You know, subscribe, comment, share. Like, man.
Hey, are you next show? Are you gonna wear the biker shorts with butt cheeks cut out?
Maybe so, man. It's Hoochie Daddy season. I done had these for about 3 years. Y'all been late, man. I done wore these in one of the parades. Man. Listen, man, when you be squatting and shit, you gotta show them like you little skinny leg bastards. Get on out of here.
And Johnny talking about getting them new jellies, the new Jordan jellies with the light ups in the bottom.
Oh man, listen.
We out here with the British Knights.
Man, be out here. I click the mugs together just at nighttime. You do the extra little stepping and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'll be out here.
He gonna just be running by the bar just to like, who is that?
I'm gonna go online and give me some pro wings. We good.
Oh, man, it's going out. Well, for sure, man. We appreciate our guest, man, Houston Alexander.
Appreciate y'all.
And it's your host, Giddy Jicky with it.
It's your other host, Johnny No Good.
And we out, man.
Peace.
The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.